Okay, there are a lot of things that I'm going to be stopping you throughout the course. On day one, I try to minimize that, but there are some things that will make you quicker and make you much more efficient as far as prepping yourself for any kind of cooking. This includes Asian as well as other types of cuisines. Some of you may have seen this on another version, but I'll do this because it's going to go on a new version of video. How to peel ginger. A lot of people will try to use a vegetable peeler, which is not very good for yield and doesn't really get you over the bumps and lumps very easily. The best, easiest way to peel ginger is with a spoon. Just the edge of a spoon will peel the ginger very well. It's fast, it's efficient. I'm not going to take up the whole time doing that. If you notice the way I've got my board set up here, I always keep a moist paper towel neatly folded on the corner of my board so that between each operation I can wipe my board down and I don't end up with ginger peel in whatever it is I'm going to cut next. The French think that they invented cooking. The Chinese have been running sophisticated civilizations for 6,000 years. 6,000 years ago, the French were living in mud huts. 3,000 years ago, the Chinese were cooking indoors on gas ranges. They'd figured out how to harness natural gas, run it through bamboo pipes into their homes. 3,000 years ago, the French were just coming out of their caves in a town called Neander. So, although the French showed you to cut your onions first with the grain, then across the face, and then into dice or mince or whatever size you wanted, the Chinese have an alternate suggestion that saves you a stroke. Cut first against the grain. Turn it. And surprise, surprise, onions are already segmented, right? Onions have layers. You don't need that third cut. Then you get the same result. Of course, the size of your end result depends on the size of your initial cuts, so you can modify that to suit your needs. If you have a long, cylindrical object like a carrot, it'll also work on ginger, by the way. And you need a julienne, or a brunoise, or a bâtonnet, or a small dice. Keep in mind, those are all French terms that we use very loosely in this class. Those are terms that are meant to be a common language. And when I say julienne, it should be understood approximately 1/8 by 1/8 by 2 inches long. But we're always talking about production julienne, never precision julienne. So for stir fry, if I ask for a julienne of carrot, most of you are going to immediately want to square things off, throw 3/4 of the carrot in the trash, and then cut these little matchsticks for French consommé. Not necessary in this case. For production julienne, just cut long bias, approximately 1/8 of an inch. Fan it. And we have a production julienne. In a stir fry, does that matter really that that's not perfect? No. Okay. Now, if in a stir fry I'm calling for a production julienne and that's all you give me, that's a problem. But If the majority looks like this, and then we have a couple of short pieces from the end, that's no big deal. Really quickly, I'll repeat this, showing you ginger, because ginger turns out to be one of the most common things we'll use in this room. And usually you're going to want minced ginger. So by the same technique that we just made a production julienne of carrot, we can take our ginger, we can make a julienne of ginger, but we can then just turn it on its side. And with only 2 motions, we now have a fine mince of ginger. A lot of your recipes are going to call for scallions cut in one way or another. Keep in mind that most of the recipes for this class are compilations of recipes from various sources and various people. Some people will choose to describe things using French terms, like a julienne or a chiffonade. Other people will use other terms. Other people don't speak French or English as a native tongue, and they've written the recipes trying to approximate something. So you're going to run into recipes that call for scallions bias cut, scallions minced, scallions slivered, scallions cut into long thin strips, for any and all purposes unless specified otherwise. A long bias cut scallion, from top to bottom, use the green, use the white, use everything, will suffice for this class. If we need it to be attractive aesthetically for a finishing agent or a garnish, that'll look fine. If we need to release a lot of flavor for a stir fry or an aromatic base, this releases a lot of surface area and consequently a lot of flavor. So it'll work fine also. So this is our default, unless specified otherwise, method for cutting all scallions. Some of you may know this, some need a refresher, some might not know it at all. Snow peas. All snow peas, you should expect to have strings running down both sides. Some won't, but you should never assume that just because one of them doesn't, that the rest in the box don't. Every snow pea, you grab it, you start at the top, you snap it down, you pull, the string should come off, you flip it over, you grab at the other end, and you pull, the string should come off. I'm not getting a lot of string off of this one, but I'm getting some, and the string is a lot of cellulose, a lot of fiber, and it doesn't chew or digest well, so I don't want that going into my customer's food. So every single snow pea is going to be done like this. Sorry to tell you that you have to do it that way, but those are the rules. Same with bean sprouts. These are mung bean sprouts. When we do the Korean menu, we'll get the soybean sprouts. I'll show you those. They have a head, they have a body, they have a tail. The head is good, it's nutritious, that's part of the reason why we're going to put it in everything. The tail is nothing intrinsically wrong with it except that it looks kind of mangy and dirty. Your food is going to appear a lot brighter, a lot cleaner, a lot fresher if you take the trouble to snap the tails off. That's trash. Again, sorry about your luck. Every single bean sprout in this kitchen is going to be picked this way. My advice to you is to get together with a couple of other people, divide the bean sprouts up evenly, set a 5-minute time limit, and whoever finishes first wins. Whatever they win, it's up to you. If nobody can help you because everybody else is busy, then race yourself against the clock. If you always go faster than you did the day before, you'll finally get to the point where your slow will be much faster than everybody else's best effort. And all of a sudden, you are the superstar because everything you do is twice as fast as anything anyone else can attempt. Last thing. Basic knife holding and handling techniques. Your knife should always curl around the blade, or your hand should always curl around the blade. Thumb on the blade, forefinger on the blade. You want to be trying to develop a callus right here. This is not right. This is not right. This is not right, unless you're Norman Bates. This is the only correct way to handle a knife with your working hand. Your guiding hand, your subordinate hand, immediately goes into a claw. There should be a reflex. Pick this up, claw. Then they match together. Fingertips curled back, thumb and pinky behind the three-fingered claw, and then knife sliding forward or up and down on the knuckles of the guiding hand. A half an inch back doesn't count. What I'm going to suggest, practice this. Practice slicing forward while you draw back with your guiding hand until you are uniform. You can also do this at home. If you don't have a heavy cutting board, just put something else heavy, like a big book or something, or a board in your lap. Sit in front of the television and just after about an hour, this is going to be so natural and comfortable that you're never going to have to look down at your knife again. And you're going to be very accurate and very safe. Now watch this. I'm not looking at the knife, but my hand is not against it. So now I don't have any idea where my knife is. I'm getting a little nervous about it now because I might hurt myself. Here, I feel safe. I know where it is. It's where it's supposed to be. So follow those things. Remember some of these, cool little time-saving devices, and practice holding and handling your knife properly, and everything should flow from there. Okay, thanks a lot.
Thank you, Chef.
Thanks. Guys, at 9:10, I want to meet everybody down at the sink for a demo. That'll be the next time you interrupt me.
Yes, Chef. Yes, Chef.
Braise. Are you by yourself?
Yes, Chef.
Okay, here's what you're going to do. Get your aromatics.
Yes, sir.
Let me see your recipe for your lamb.
Does anybody need these snow peas with carrots? Or beans?